In this video, we are going to discuss finding percent of a number or parts of percents. One way to define a percent of a number is to use the proportion of is over of equals percent out of 100. In this proportion, the 100 will always be under the percent sign because percents are a relation of a number out of 100. In the first example, when asked what percent of 70 is 15, we can follow this proportion by determining that the is portion is equal to 15 because that is my part in this proportion. The of, or the whole in this proportion, is 70, and I'm asked to find the percent because it asks me what percent. So that is going to be my given variable in this proportion. So to set this proportion up, I would have 15 over 70 equal to x over 100. Then to solve a proportion, I'm going to set my cross products equal to each other. So I will have 70 times x is equal to 15 times 100. Then doing my multiplication in inverse operations would give me a value of about 21%. I'm rounding that value because it does not come out to an exact percentage. One other way to determine this would be thinking of this as getting 15 out of the 70 points on a test. So that would be the ratio of 15 over 70. This will give me a decimal value. So if I also take this times 100 to turn my decimal into a percent, I would also get about 21%. In this next example, we are asked to find the is portion of this question. I'm given 12%, and percents are always out of 100, so the 12 will go in this spot in our proportion. I also see in this question that I'm asked 12% of 60, so the of portion of my proportion is going to be a 60. So setting this proportion up, I would have x over 60 because I'm finding the is portion, the part, so I'm going to use a variable in that spot, is equal to 12 out of 100. Remember, my percents are always out of 100, and so if I see a number with a percent sign, it is always going to go in the part of the proportion above the 100. Once again, setting up my cross products to solve for x will look like 100 times x is equal to 60 times 12. Then doing my multiplication in my inverse operations will give me a value of 7.2. I am not going to choose to round this value because it's asking me for 12% of 60, and 12% of 60 is not about 7, it is exactly 7.2. So I will not round when I am asked to find a number. I will not also put a percentage sign behind this value because I'm not asked to find a percent. I'm asked to find a number. One other way to determine this would be to set up an equation that is being represented by this statement. The what portion is a variable because I don't know what I'm finding. Is in math also stands for equal to. And then 12% of means multiply times 60. But I don't want to get 12 times larger, I only want 12%. So I'm going to write 12% as a decimal. This will also give you the missing value of 7.2. In this next example, 6 is 20% of what number? I am asked to find the of portion in this statement. My percentage is 20, and my is portion will be 6 because it states 6 is. So in this example, my proportion will look like 6 over x, because I do not know the of portion, is equal to 20 over 100. Once again, setting my cross products equal to each other to solve out for my missing variable, and then doing my multiplication in inverse operations to solve out for x will give me a value of 30. I do not need to include a percentage symbol because I'm not asked to find the percent, I'm asked to find a number. One other way to solve this would be to create an equation for this statement. 6 is also meaning 6 equal to, because is in math is represented by an equal sign. 20% and of means multiply. What number? I do not know what number, so I'm going to use a variable. Once again, I do not want to get 20 times larger. I only want 20% of that variable. So I'm going to turn 20% into a decimal by writing it as 0.20. Solving this equation using inverse operations would also give me the value of x equals 30. One application of this type of problem was when things are discounted and on sale in a store. So a shirt is normally priced at $48.50. The store is currently discounting it off by 30%. That means that they are going to take 30% off that regular price. Not $30, but 30%. So if we're asked to find the sale price of the shirt, first we need to ask ourselves, what is 30% of $48.50? Using this to set up my proportion, I'm finding the is portion. I'm finding the part that I'm going to take off the total amount of $48.50. So $48.50 is my total amount, the of portion of my proportion, and 30% is my percentage, so it will go above the 100 in my proportion. So setting up my proportion would look like x over $48.50 is equal to 30 over 100. Once again, setting up my cross products equal to each other will give me 100 times x is equal to 30 times $48.50. Then I need to do my multiplication before I can use my inverse operations to solve for x. And lastly, I would divide both sides by 100, and this gives me a value of 14.55. This is a dollar amount because it is talking about reducing the price and taking money off the regular price. I'm not finished though. The question asks me what the sale price of the shirt will be. This amount that I have found is how much will be taken off the regular price. So then I need to subtract that from the original price of $48.50. After doing that subtraction, I will get an answer of the sale price of $33.95.